Hey, good evening and welcome. It is the Wednesday after Easter. What an awesome week it has been in worship here at 3-in-1. We hope that you had joined us at some point in Holy Week, on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, or Easter Sunday. I'm Pastor Rick, for those of you who may just be joining in, maybe you just picked up with us on Easter for the first time. And on Wednesday nights, we try to bring you in just for a short devotion. In the coming weeks, beginning next week, we are beginning a sermon series which I think is really appropriate, because sometimes we get all the Easter and all the excitement, and then when it's finished, our biggest questions in Christianity are, so what do we do now? What do we do when we don't know what to do? Now, we could do a series on that, on whether you're doing home repairs or anything else, but for us, we're going to do a series of questions, and beginning next Sunday, we are going to be preaching on what to do when you have to wait. Now, because you're getting a little prequel to it, I'm going to give you half of the 8 steps, the 8 things that we recommend. Now, an example, when God says to wait, if we look at Luke in chapter 24, it says, but early on Sunday morning, the women went to the tomb. They took the spices that they had prepared. You say, Pastor, that's what we heard on Sunday for Easter. That's right. But then they turned around and realized everything that was going on. And by verse 5, the women were terrified, bowed their faces, and the men asked, why are you looking among the dead for someone who is alive? And so off they went to tell the disciples. They sort of had an answer, but not exactly. They had to wait. And sometimes that's our hardest thing in life. Sometimes God says, wait on the cure for the disease. Sometimes God says, wait for the cure on the addiction. And we think God's mad at us, and that's not true. So what do we do? What do we do? There are times in life when we just don't know what to do. And we find ourselves waiting and waiting. And what often happens is we're more likely to give up on God than keep waiting. Well, I'm going to tell you, to settle you being a little impatient, a lot like Pastor Rick. When God tells you to wait, in that the tension builds up, our faith is begin to challenge, and God calls us to wait. And yet it's in that wait time, if we look in the Bible, we go through stories and find in that wait time is when people grow deeply in their faith. I'm going to give you 8 things. You're going to get 4 of them tonight. Come back Sunday, catch the whole message. Come back next Wednesday, and I will close out the last 4 things that you can do when God says wait, but your mind says don't want to. 1, forget about the calendar. The Bible says just forget about it. So we get stressed about God's timing because we think he operates in our time and our calendar. And that assumption will continue to lead to frustration. See, that goes back, though, to a basic principle of learning to trust God. I will tell you, sometimes trust is hard, but worrying about it's not going to make it any better. 2, when God says wait, the second thing that you could do, you've forgotten about the calendar. Now, embrace the truth that God has a reason. We're back to trust again. God's plan is better than our plan. God's time is better than our time. God really does have a reason, even if he doesn't give it to us in the details. That means whatever he has done on the other side of the wait is going to be better than the struggle on this side. Paul said in Romans, he said, I count all of this, all these struggles as nothing to the glory on the other side. All right, so we have put on our list, we're going to forget about the calendar. We're going to embrace the truth that God has a reason and a better one than what we do. 3, I want you to remember that God's not worried. You know, we sometimes think the world's falling apart, and we think God's up in heaven going, oh my gosh, what do I do? Said, how do I fix this? God's not worried. We're the ones that are struggling. His timing is always, always, always right. He knows that, and he knows that his timing is going to work out. And you know that too, actually, because here we are again. Trust that you know God's plan is better. Then finally, the last one for this week, remember, get the full message on Sunday. The last four for next Wednesday, so stay with us in this coming week as you get ready for what you don't understand about God. When he tells you to wait, be faithful today. You got nothing to lose, folks. We got to be faithful in God. Trusting God for tomorrow means being obedient today. We should not expect God to respond to our prayers about tomorrow if we are ignoring his leading for today. Lord, folks, how many times do we go our way? We voted for the right politician. We did this. We colored the paint right. We did whatever it is. We did all the good things. And God's going, yeah, but I asked you to trust me. In my opinion, our unfaithfulness for today is one of the primary reasons that we wrestle with waiting on tomorrow's stuff. See, because we're not trusting God. So we have to worry because we believe it's going to turn out like other humans would have it turn out. And God's saying, I have nothing but promise. I have honored all of my covenants, and I will give you life and give it abundantly. I hope to see you in the next couple of weeks at each service so we can figure out and answer these questions together. They're real questions in a real world, and we have a real God that's there to do it. See you next week.